But now a new generation has emerged, and I'm asking, what are you going to do that's going to be different from what my generation, whether it is in the seminary or the academy, or whether it is in the local church. I wish there had been a mentoring network for women of color conferences back when I was coming through, something like a Rise Together when I was young, a young woman in ministry. Now, don't get me wrong. We had our equivalents of sorts. We had consciousness-raising sessions. We had book clubs. We had women's auxiliaries of the AME church. Amen. We had all of that. But we didn't have the institutional support. We had to, as I am writing, Dr. Serene, those of you, and I ask because I assume you all are reading and talking about womanism, you know, it's because you can't even assume that now. I mean, so you're coming into seminary, but as Reverend Jessica said yesterday, you are being trained to become white pastors. The curriculum is not training you for leadership. It's training you to be a white pastor. The curriculum is not necessarily challenging you or training you to be able to pastor the people that you are going to. It is training you to pastor people who you may have, who for many of you will not be going to. And so for many of you, you're in spaces where you don't hear about womanism. You've not had a black female instructor there. Some of you, we get you at 30 and 40 years old. You've never had a black woman professor. You never had one in theology. You never had one in Bible. You never had one in pastoral care. You never had one in ethics. Come on, somebody, while I'm keep saying this. But we're talking about, mine was the generation where we had to summon our voices and then create our platforms. We had to preach and pretend we didn't want to lead. We had to pretend we didn't want anything else, that we were satisfied with preaching and teaching and Women's Day. And now comes your generation, and how will you be different? That's all my charge is right now. Will you upset anything? As one writer said, is it just add pink and stir? I'm going to need you to come on and get with that image right there. Just add pink and stir. But nothing, the basic color never really changed. Patriarchy is firmly in place. Because she didn't come to challenge patriarchy. She just came to get her Women's Day engagement. She didn't come to pastor and change the table. She just came so that she could be the pastor of the church. She didn't come to say, okay, from now on, we will not have all these meetings where the women who have children under 10 cannot get to the meeting, and then we're going to make decisions for the women who have children over 10. She doesn't come to do that kind of work. She just came to preach, and so that she might stand in the pulpit. But she didn't come to say, listen here, right up in here, all y'all wrong. Any woman on my staff, she gets this many months off if she is pregnant. She gets to stay home. And if we're not doing that, that is challenging the patriarchy, y'all. What's the sense of having power if you're not going to use it? What's the sense of being a senior woman in the ministry and I get up here and preach to you Exodus 1 and 4 that has nothing to do with nothing else? It's getting late in the evening for me. The sun is going down. So I can say whatsoever I want to say now. I ain't got but 2 more minutes here. We want to get promotion and tenure, but we don't want to play the political games to get it. We want a place at the table, but we didn't know we had to bring our own chair. That says Shirley Chisholm. They don't give you the place at the table, bring your own doggone chair. Bring a folding chair. But this whining, sexism, you are in ministry, but the black church is as sexist and patriarchal as it's ever been. Get over it and make it change. Stop crying, dry your eyes, and whoop some behinds. What you doing? You can't be conventional and be a preacher. This ain't no conventional work up in here. This is for soldiers. Now, if you just want to be a lay person and you just want to be a missionary in an AME church, just sit on over there and let the big girls handle this situation right here. You don't want to upset the men? I got next. You need some hell raisers. Everybody can't be quiet. Everybody can't be quiet. Now let's be clear. Those of us who can't stand feminists and want to say, I'm having lunch with a young lady, I just can't call her name because y'all be putting this stuff on Facebook. And she's a graduate of a seminary. And she's going to sit there across the table from Renita Weems as we're talking about some other things. And she said, hey, you know what he really thought? He thinks I'm a woman, Dr. Weems. I just let him think that. And I'm like, does she know who she's talking to? I said, well, isn't that interesting? She's not looking at who does she think that's a compliment to me? It means that she knows how to play this girly game. And she wants to raise hell, but she don't want to raise it too much. I understand that. I understand when you're young, you're trying to get your business card out there and you don't want to mess it too much. You try to get your paper. I got all that. I understand that. But my point here is that we feel like I have to apologize to you and say, I'm leaving you with a church that in some ways has not really changed. That we underestimated this great force that we are up against. We underestimated the intransigence of evil and patriarchy. We thought that if we preached and spoke in tongues and yodel yobo shobo bobo and put a little olive oil over it, amen. But we wrestle against not flesh and blood, but we are wrestling against principalities, spiritual darkness, powers in high places. And it's going to take more than your hot-tea tot yo bo bo shobo bo 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 bo. You're going to have to fast, pray, and strategize. You're going to have to fast, pray, strategize, and vote. You're going to have to fast, pray, amen, and bring your crew with you. You're going to have to fast, praise, speak in tongues. Come on here, somebody. And raise hell. You're going to have to speak in unknown tongues and known tongues. If this president has taught you anything, they ain't coming down like that. So you can get up here and want these churches and want to preach and want to be the first and want these engagements if you want to. But the brothers ain't scared. And I don't know about you, folks supposed to be scared of me. I expect you to tremble. Why turn 65 and ain't nobody scared of you? I'd rather you like me, but I'll take your fear. As I tell my daughter, I hope you love me enough not to do that, but I hope you know that also I'll hurt you, so you better be scared of me. I prefer love, but I'll take fear. And thus comes Zelophehad's daughters. And thus comes the daughters of Zelophehad, coming with their crew. They coming for the law to be changed. They're coming for the systems to come down. They're coming for property. They're coming for land up in here. They're coming for a legacy. Come on and give God some praise. Zelophehad's daughters. Them girls strategize. Now when he say this, you say that. And when you say this, I'm going to say this. And if you get scared, tag me because I'm next. And when Moses do this, I'm going to do that. And when he will call out this law, I'm going to call out another law. Zelophehad's daughters. If you ain't a part of Zelophehad's daughter, get in the back. The rest of us got this, Hannah. You get the law when I pass the law.